Most people believe strength begins in the body. They're wrong. Every victory is decided in the mind long before the body ever moves. The greatest enemy is not the person standing in front of you. It is the fear, doubt, and hesitation living inside you. The moment you master your thoughts, you stop being controlled by circumstances. Pressure no longer breaks you. Failure no longer defines you. Obstacles become your training ground instead of your excuse. In this video, you'll discover timeless principles for building a mind that stays calm under pressure, adapts to every challenge, and refuses to surrender. Because an unbreakable mind is not something you are born with, it is something you forge, one decision at a time. Many people spend their lives trying to change the people around them. They want others to think differently, behave differently, or treat them differently. They believe that if the world changes first, then they will finally find peace, confidence, or success. But real strength begins in the opposite direction. Before you can influence your circumstances, you must first learn to govern yourself. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another person. It is against your own anger, fear, impatience, pride, and doubt. Think about it for a moment. A person who cannot control their emotions will always be controlled by them. If a small criticism ruins your day, then your emotions are being directed by someone else. If one failure convinces you to give up, then your future is being decided by temporary circumstances instead of your own character. When your inner world is unstable, every challenge feels larger than it truly is. But when your mind becomes calm and disciplined, even difficult situations begin to lose their power over you. True mastery is not about proving that you are stronger than everyone else. It is about becoming stronger than the version of yourself that existed yesterday. Every day gives you another opportunity to improve your patience, your focus, your discipline, and your ability to remain calm under pressure. Progress does not happen because life becomes easier. It happens because you become wiser in the way you respond to life. This is why self-awareness is so important. Pay attention to your reactions. Notice what makes you angry, what makes you afraid, and what causes you to lose your focus. These moments are not signs of weakness. They are opportunities to understand yourself more deeply. The more honestly you see yourself, the more clearly you understand what needs to change. Growth always begins with honesty. Do not waste your energy trying to control everything outside of you. You cannot control every opinion, every obstacle, or every unexpected event. What you can control is your attitude, your effort, your choices, and your response. That is where real power lives. A calm mind can see opportunities where an anxious mind only sees problems. Every great achievement begins with small victories that nobody else notices. Choosing patience instead of anger, choosing action instead of excuses, choosing discipline instead of comfort. These quiet decisions slowly reshape your character until strength becomes part of who you are, rather than something you occasionally display. Remember this principle whenever life becomes difficult. Before you try to master the world around you, learn to master the world within you. When your thoughts become clear, your emotions become steady, and your actions become intentional, you no longer depend on circumstances to feel strong. Your strength comes from within, and that is the kind of strength no obstacle can easily break. The mistake people make is believing that strength means becoming hard, rigid, and impossible to move. They imagine that a strong mind never bends, never changes, and never adapts. Yet nature teaches a very different lesson. Water is one of the softest things on earth, but over time it can shape mountains, carve valleys, and wear away solid rock. It does not win by resisting everything in its path. It wins because it knows how to adapt without losing its nature. This is one of the deepest secrets of true mental strength. Life will never unfold exactly as you planned. There will be unexpected setbacks, disappointments, criticism, and moments when everything seems to change without warning. If your mind is rigid, every change will feel like a personal attack. You will waste your energy fighting reality instead of learning from it. But when your mind becomes flexible, challenges stop looking like barriers and start becoming opportunities to grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What can this situation teach me?" That single change in perspective transforms the way you experience life. Being adaptable does not mean giving up your values or abandoning your goals. It means changing your approach when the old one no longer works. A river does not stop flowing because a large rock blocks its path. It simply moves around it, finds another direction, and continues toward the ocean. In the same way, when one opportunity closes, do not stand there complaining about the obstacle. Look for another path. Progress belongs to those who keep moving, not to those who remain stuck, wishing life were different. Many people become trapped because they are attached to one idea of how success should happen. When reality does not match their expectations, frustration takes over. They resist change, hold on to old habits, and refuse to adjust. But growth requires flexibility. Sometimes the lesson is not to push harder. Sometimes it is to step back, observe carefully, and discover a wiser way forward. A flexible mind sees possibilities that a stubborn mind cannot. Mental strength is also revealed in how you respond to other people. Some individuals will criticize you, misunderstand you, or doubt your abilities. If you react emotionally to every opinion, you allow others to control your peace of mind. Like water, remain calm, becoming disturbed by every stone thrown into your path. A quiet mind sees clearly, while an agitated mind creates problems that do not exist. Your greatest advantage is not reacting impulsively, but responding with clarity and purpose. There will also be moments when life asks you to begin again. A failed project, a broken relationship, a lost opportunity, or an unexpected setback can make it seem as though everything has fallen apart. Yet these moments often become the beginning of a stronger version of yourself. Water never fears taking a new shape because its true nature remains unchanged. Likewise, your circumstances may change, but your character, your values, and your commitment to growth can remain steady. Real confidence is not believing that nothing will ever go wrong. Real confidence is trusting that no matter what happens, you will find a way forward. That is the mindset of someone who cannot easily be broken. They do not panic when plans change. They adapt. They do not complain when obstacles appear. They learn. They do not remain frozen by uncertainty. They continue moving with patience, wisdom, and determination. Remember this whenever life becomes difficult. Strength is not found in resisting every change. Strength is found in your ability to remain calm, adjust your approach, and keep moving toward your purpose. Like water, you can be gentle without being weak, flexible without losing direction, and peaceful without surrendering your inner strength. A mind that learns to adapt is a mind that becomes truly unbreakable. Fear is something every human being experiences. No matter how confident or successful someone appears, there will always be moments of uncertainty. The difference is not that strong people never feel fear. The difference is that they refuse to let fear make their decisions. An unbreakable mind is not one that lives without fear. It is one that learns to walk forward even while fear is present. Many people spend years trying to avoid situations that make them uncomfortable. They avoid difficult conversations because they fear rejection. They postpone their dreams because they fear failure. They stay inside familiar routines because they fear change. At first, this feels safe, but over time, that safety becomes a prison. Every opportunity they ignore makes fear a little stronger, until one day they begin to believe they are incapable of doing what they once dreamed of achieving. The truth is that fear grows in the absence of action. The longer you wait, the larger it appears. Your imagination begins creating problems that do not even exist. You convince yourself that the challenge is impossible before you have taken the first step. But the moment you move forward, something remarkable happens. Fear begins to lose its power. Not because it disappears completely, but because your courage starts becoming greater than your hesitation. Think of fear as energy waiting for direction. If you run from it, that energy turns into anxiety, doubt, and endless overthinking. But if you face it with determination, the same energy becomes focus, alertness, and strength. Instead of asking yourself, "What if I fail?" begin asking, "What will I become if I keep moving forward?" That single question shifts your attention from avoiding pain to pursuing growth. Every meaningful achievement requires stepping into uncertainty. There is no perfect moment when you suddenly feel fearless. Confidence is not the beginning of action. It is the reward for repeated action. Every time you confront something difficult, you teach your mind a new lesson. You prove that discomfort is temporary, but the strength you gain from overcoming it remains with you. This is how resilience is built, not in moments of comfort, but in moments when you choose courage over convenience. It is also important to remember that fear often points toward the very place where your greatest growth is waiting. The conversation you keep avoiding, the skill you hesitate to learn, the opportunity you are afraid to pursue, these are often the experiences that shape your character the most. Instead of treating fear as an enemy, begin to see it as a sign that you are standing at the edge of transformation. Growth rarely feels comfortable, but it is always worthwhile. Do not waste your energy wishing fear would disappear. It may never leave completely, and it does not have to. The goal is not to eliminate fear, but to stop giving it authority over your life. Let your values become louder than your doubts. Let your purpose become stronger than your excuses. When your actions are guided by purpose instead of emotion, fear gradually loses its place as the leader of your life. Remember this whenever fear appears. It is not a command telling you to retreat. It is an invitation to grow beyond the limits you once accepted. Each time you face it with patience, clarity, and steady action, you become stronger than you were yesterday. Eventually, the challenges that once intimidated you become ordinary, and the person who once doubted every step becomes someone who moves forward with quiet confidence. That is how fear is transformed from your greatest obstacle into one of your greatest sources of power, and that is how an ordinary mind becomes truly unbreakable. Many people believe discipline is a burden. They see it as something that limits their freedom, forces them into routines, and takes away the excitement of life. They think freedom means doing whatever they feel like doing in the moment. But this way of thinking often leads to the opposite result. When your actions are controlled only by your emotions, you become a prisoner of your moods, your impulses, and your habits. What feels like freedom today can quietly become a source of weakness tomorrow. Real freedom is not the ability to follow every desire. Real freedom is the ability to choose what is right even when it is difficult. It is waking up with a purpose instead of waiting for motivation to appear. It is keeping your word to yourself even when no one is watching. It is having the strength to continue moving toward your goal, regardless of how you feel on a particular day. That kind of freedom cannot be given to you by anyone else. It is earned through discipline. Consider the person who wants a healthy body but avoids exercise whenever it feels uncomfortable. At first, skipping a workout feels easy and enjoyable. But over time, that temporary comfort leads to lower energy, poor health, and growing frustration. The same principle applies to every area of life. A student who refuses to study becomes trapped by poor preparation. An entrepreneur who avoids difficult decisions limits the growth of the business. A person who never learns to control anger eventually allows anger to control every important relationship. In each case, the absence of discipline creates invisible chains that become heavier with time. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to live a life without joy. It is about creating habits that make lasting joy possible. The small choices you make each day shape the person you become. Waking up when you promised yourself you would, finishing the work you started, practicing your craft even when no one is applauding, choosing patience instead of reacting in anger. These actions may seem ordinary, but together they build extraordinary character. Greatness is rarely the result of one dramatic moment. More often, it is the result of thousands of disciplined decisions, repeated with consistency. One of the greatest benefits of discipline is that it reduces the power of excuses. When you rely on motivation, your progress rises and falls with your emotions. Some days you feel inspired, and everything seems possible. Other days you feel tired or discouraged, and your goals begin to disappear. Discipline frees you from this cycle. It teaches you to act according to your purpose rather than your feelings. In time, what once required great effort becomes a natural part of your life, because consistency has transformed action into habit. Discipline also creates peace of mind. When you know you have done your best each day, there is less room for regret, guilt, and self-doubt. Instead of wondering what might have happened if you had worked harder, you gain quiet confidence because your actions match your intentions. This inner confidence cannot be bought, borrowed, or inherited. It is built one disciplined choice at a time. It is important to understand that discipline is not about perfection. No one follows every plan flawlessly. There will be days when you make mistakes, lose focus, or fall short of your expectations. The disciplined person is not someone who never fails. It is someone who refuses to stay down after failing. They return to the path without making excuses or blaming circumstances. Their commitment is stronger than their temporary setbacks. As your discipline grows, something remarkable begins to happen. The tasks that once felt impossible become manageable. The habits that once demanded constant effort become part of your identity. Your confidence no longer depends on praise from others because it comes from knowing you can trust yourself. When you make a promise, you keep it. When challenges appear, you face them with calm determination. This is the quiet strength that cannot be shaken by changing circumstances. Remember this whenever discipline feels difficult. Every disciplined choice is an investment in the person you are becoming. The comfort you sacrifice today creates the freedom you enjoy tomorrow. A disciplined mind is not trapped by laziness, fear, distraction, or excuses. It is free to pursue its highest purpose with clarity, patience, and unwavering determination. That is why true freedom does not begin with doing whatever you want. It begins when you gain the power to govern yourself, and a mind that can govern itself is a mind that becomes truly unbreakable. A crowded mind cannot see clearly. Every day, people fill their thoughts with worries about the past, fears about the future, opinions from others, and endless distractions competing for their attention. They carry old failures, old identities, and old beliefs that quietly limit what they believe is possible. The problem is not that they lack ability. The problem is that their mind is already filled with noise, leaving no space for growth, creativity, and new possibilities. To unlock your potential, you must first learn the power of emptiness. Emptying your mind does not mean having no thoughts. It means creating enough awareness to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. It means letting go of unnecessary mental weight so you can focus on what truly matters. A clear mind does not react to every situation emotionally. It observes, understands, and then chooses the best response. Imagine a cup filled completely with water. If you continue pouring more water into it, nothing new can enter. The cup must first be emptied before it can receive something fresh. The same principle applies to your mind. If you are constantly holding on to doubt, fear, anger, and old assumptions, there is no room for learning, improvement, or transformation. Sometimes the first step toward becoming stronger is releasing what no longer serves you. Many people limit themselves because they identify too strongly with their past. They say, I have always been this way, or I am not capable of changing. But these statements are not facts. They are beliefs created from previous experiences. Your past can teach you, but it does not have the authority to define your future. When you empty your mind of these limitations, you create the space to discover a stronger version of yourself. A clear mind also allows you to respond instead of simply reacting. When pressure appears, an uncontrolled mind immediately creates panic. It imagines the worst outcome, searches for excuses, and loses focus. But a trained mind remains present. It looks at the situation as it truly is, without adding unnecessary fear or confusion. This calm awareness gives you the ability to make better decisions when others are overwhelmed. The world constantly encourages people to collect more information, more opinions, more distractions, more comparisons. But true growth often comes from removing what is unnecessary. A person who constantly compares themselves to others loses connection with their own path. A person who constantly seeks approval forgets their own values. A person who constantly chases outside noise struggles to hear their own inner direction. Emptying your mind is a practice of returning to simplicity. It is learning to focus on the present moment instead of being trapped between regret and worry. When you train yourself to be fully present, ordinary moments become opportunities for awareness and improvement. You begin to notice your habits, your reactions, and your choices with greater clarity. This awareness becomes the foundation of personal transformation. A calm mind is not a weak mind. In fact, a calm mind is one of the strongest tools you can develop. Like a still lake reflecting the sky clearly, a peaceful mind can see reality without distortion. It does not waste energy fighting imaginary battles. It saves its strength for the challenges that truly matter. Remember, your potential is not always hidden because you lack something. Sometimes it is hidden because your mind is carrying too much. Too many fears, too many expectations, too many unnecessary beliefs. When you learn to release what weighs you down, you create space for discipline, creativity, confidence, and growth. The strongest mind is not the one filled with the most noise. It is the one that can become still when needed, focused when challenged, and open when learning. Empty your mind, remove the limits you placed on yourself, and you will discover that the power you were searching for was already within you. A clear mind is not empty of strength, it is full of possibilities. An unbreakable mind is not created by one powerful decision. It is created through thousands of small actions repeated over time. Many people wait for the perfect moment to transform their lives. They wait until they feel motivated, confident, or completely prepared. But growth does not come from waiting for the right feeling. It comes from taking action, even when the conditions are not perfect. Your mind becomes stronger every time you prove to yourself that you can do difficult things. Each time you keep a promise you made to yourself, you build trust within your own character. Each time you continue despite discomfort, you increase your ability to handle challenges. Strength is not something that suddenly appears when life becomes difficult. It is something you quietly build before the difficult moments arrive. Think about physical training. A person does not become stronger after one workout. Strength develops through consistent practice, repetition, and patience. The same principle applies to the mind. Mental strength is developed through daily challenges, disciplined habits, and intentional choices. Every day is an opportunity to train your focus, your patience, and your ability to stay committed when distractions appear. The biggest mistake people make is underestimating the power of small actions. They believe only massive changes create massive results, but transformation usually happens through simple things done consistently. Reading a few pages every day, practicing a skill regularly, exercising when you do not feel like it, spending time improving yourself instead of wasting hours on distractions. These actions may seem insignificant at the moment, but they shape your identity over time. Your habits are constantly teaching your mind who you are. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you send a message to yourself, I am someone who follows through. Every time you choose action over excuses, you strengthen the belief that you are capable. Eventually, these repeated choices become part of your character. You no longer need to force yourself because the person you have built naturally acts with purpose. Action also destroys overthinking. Many people remain trapped because they spend too much time planning, analyzing, and imagining every possible outcome. Preparation has value, but endless thinking without movement becomes another form of avoidance. The only way to truly learn, improve, and discover your abilities is through experience. You cannot build confidence by thinking about action. You build confidence by taking action. Every mistake you make while moving forward becomes a lesson. Failure is not proof that you are incapable. It is information showing you where you can improve. The person with a strong mind does not see mistakes as the end of the journey. They see them as feedback. They adjust, learn, and continue. This mindset turns obstacles into training instead of reasons to quit. Daily action also teaches patience. In a world where people want instant results, consistency becomes a rare advantage. A person who continues working toward their goal when results are invisible develops a level of determination that cannot easily be shaken. They understand that meaningful change takes time, and they are willing to stay committed through the process. Do not focus only on the final destination. Focus on becoming the type of person who reaches it. The goal is not just to achieve success. The goal is to build the discipline, resilience, and mindset that allow you to handle success and challenges alike. Every small action is a vote for the person you want to become. Remember, your future is not created by what you occasionally do. It is created by what you repeatedly do. The mind becomes unbreakable when it learns one powerful lesson. You can trust yourself to keep moving forward. Not because every day will be easy, but because every day you choose growth over comfort, action over hesitation, and progress over excuses. A strong mind is built quietly. It is forged in ordinary moments when nobody is watching. Keep showing up, keep improving, keep taking the next step, because every disciplined action today is building the unbreakable version of yourself that tomorrow will reveal. The strongest people are not always the loudest people in the room. True strength does not need constant attention, approval, or recognition. It is often built in silence, during the moments when nobody is watching and nobody is giving you praise. The person you become in private determines the person you show to the world. Your greatest transformation happens through the quiet choices you make every single day. Many people search for success through external things. They want others to notice their progress, celebrate their achievements, and confirm their value. But relying on outside approval creates a fragile mind because your confidence becomes dependent on things you cannot control. People may support you today and doubt you tomorrow. Circumstances may change, opinions may shift, but the strength you build within yourself remains yours. The silent habit that creates an unbreakable mind is the habit of continuous self-improvement. It is the commitment to become slightly better every day, even when there is no immediate reward. It is waking up and practicing your craft. It is learning when others are distracted. It is choosing discipline when comfort is available. These actions may look small, but over time, they create a person who is prepared for challenges that others are not ready to face. Growth does not always announce itself. A tree does not become strong by making noise. It grows roots deep beneath the surface before anyone notices its height. In the same way, your character is developed through invisible work. The hours spent improving yourself, the battles you fight inside your own mind, and the promises you keep to yourself create the foundation of lasting strength. Silence also teaches you self-awareness. When you remove unnecessary noise, you begin to understand yourself better. You notice your weaknesses without judgment. You recognize your patterns, your habits, and the excuses that hold you back. This awareness gives you the ability to change. A person who understands themselves cannot easily be controlled by fear, pressure, or the opinions of others. Another powerful aspect of quiet strength is learning to move without needing to announce every step. Many people reveal their plans before they have built the discipline to complete them. They seek motivation from attention instead of developing commitment from within. But real confidence does not come from telling people what you will do. It comes from quietly doing the work and allowing your results to speak. The silent warrior does not waste energy proving themselves to everyone. They understand that their purpose is greater than temporary recognition. They do not need to win every argument, respond to every criticism, or defend every decision. Their focus remains on growth. While others are distracted by comparison and competition, they are focused on mastering themselves. This does not mean becoming isolated or ignoring the world. It means building an inner foundation strong enough that the outside world cannot easily shake you. When you know your values, understand your purpose, and trust your own effort, external challenges lose their ability to control your emotions. You become calm under pressure because your confidence comes from preparation, not from approval. The person who trains in silence develops a powerful advantage. They are improving while others are waiting. They are building while others are talking. They are preparing while others are seeking attention. When challenges appear, they do not need to suddenly become strong because they have already been strengthening themselves every day. Remember, the greatest battles are often won before anyone sees the victory. The discipline you practice quietly today becomes the strength you display tomorrow. Continue learning, continue refining yourself, continue building your character when nobody is watching. Because a mind built through patience, discipline, and self-mastery is not easily broken. The world may test you, people may doubt you, circumstances may challenge you, but when your strength comes from within, you remain steady. That is the power of silent growth, the habit that transforms an ordinary person into someone who cannot easily be defeated. An unbreakable mind is not built in one powerful moment. It is built through the choices you make every single day. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every setback is a chance to sharpen your character. The world will always test you, but your greatest victory will come when you no longer allow your own doubts to control your actions. Keep learning, keep adapting, keep moving forward with purpose. Master your mind, and no obstacle will have the power to master you. That is where real strength begins, and that is the path to becoming truly unbreakable.